Hectic.
Welcome back to it, you guys. You are watching Hectic 99. Hashtag Hectic Focus is what we're all about on the show this week. And right now, I'm joined by Dr. Zayne Stevens, who is an endocrinologist. Welcome to Hectic 99.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, cool. So let's actually get into your profession. What is an endocrinologist?
Well, you did very well. It took me a long time to be able to pronounce the word myself. So an endocrinologist is somebody who specializes in endocrinology, which is the field in medicine that looks at the hormone diseases and diseases related to our hormones. So in South Africa, what that means is that you would, after being trained as a GP, a general practitioner, go back and become a specialist physician and then do some extra training in endocrinology and hormone diseases.
Okay, so today we're talking about the thyroid and how it actually affects our health. So can you talk to us about what the thyroid actually is and where it actually is in our body?
So often, until you've had a disease of the thyroid, nobody knows where it is. So you're quite right. So the thyroid is kind of a butterfly-shaped gland that sits here at the base of our neck.
Oh, okay.
And we think about it, the thyroid, as being sort of the metabolic powerhouse of the body. And our metabolism is really how our body uses energy.
Yeah.
So in terms of hormonal diseases of the thyroid, we really divide them into diseases which cause overactivity of the thyroid, where there's too much thyroid hormone, or underactivity, where there's too little thyroid hormone being produced.
Okay, now I've heard of the terms hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism. Can you talk to us about the differences between those terms and what actually happens to your body?
So hyperthyroidism refers to the situation where your thyroid is producing too much thyroid hormone.
Okay.
And by far the most common cause of that would be a disease by the name of Graves' disease. The opposite of that then is hypothyroidism, where you don't produce enough thyroid hormone for whatever reason that may be. So the symptoms of somebody who's got an overactive thyroid would be typically sort of unexplained weight loss. Person might have a tremor, might become aware of their heartbeat, which we refer to as palpitations. Okay. And they might even have sort of gastrointestinal problems, diarrhea. And from a sort of brain point of view, I know you guys are thinking about focus. Often thoughts start to race and it becomes difficult to focus and concentrate. So those would be the sort of typical symptoms of an overactive thyroid. Okay. Associated with that might be some eye problems, specifically if the diagnosis is Graves'. Okay. So the hypothyroidism is kind of the opposite of that. You become slowed, your thought process is slowed down, so it's also difficult to focus, but for a different reason. Your skin becomes quite dry, hair becomes quite brittle and easy to break. Oh, wow. And overall, you just feel sluggish and you may gain some weight. Okay. So kind of the opposite of each other. Okay,
so then who would you say is more susceptible to having issues with their thyroid?
So typically both the causes of an under and an overactive thyroid are referred to as autoimmune diseases. Okay. And in general, autoimmune diseases occur far more frequently in women. Okay. And they're conditions that tend to happen in young women. So certainly in the age group of sort of 20 to 40s when it is most common, but that certainly doesn't mean that people younger than the age of 20 are sort of spared. Certainly they would also be prone to developing those kinds of diseases.
Okay, so what should we look out for if we're suspecting that we might
So if you have any of those symptoms that we've kind of spoken about, often a lot of them are non-specific, so it doesn't mean necessarily that it is your thyroid, but it's certainly something you should be thinking about, and especially if there's a family history of somebody else in your family having a thyroid or other autoimmune disease, that would increase the chances that you would be developing one.
Okay, cool, Doug. So to round it off, any advice to people who are living with thyroid issues?
So by far the most important thing is remember to take your medication.
Okay. And that's it. Thank you so much to Dr. Zayne, who I'm sure enlightened all of you on thyroid disease and how it all works, you guys. Hashtag Hectic Focus is what we're all about.
Hectic.